right, so today I want to answer a question that I got asked recently on my Instagram account from one of my followers. And the question was, I'm wanting to start my own virtual assistant agency. Do you think it's important I get some experience being a virtual assistant before I start an agency? So this is a really good question. And the simple answer is no. And I hope that made you happier and less stressed out. I think a lot of people think that in order to grow a virtual assistant agency business, that you have had to have experience being a virtual assistant yourself. And no, you don't. And the reason why is because you're going to find virtual assistants and place them inside of the business of your client. You're not going to be doing the work. And there are thousands and millions of qualified and skilled virtual assistants from around the world that you can hire. So your job with a virtual assistant agency business is to find clients, and so you're going to be doing the sales and to find virtual assistants. You're going to screen them, interview them, go through the whole application process for your clients, because as an agency owner, your clients are going to go to you and purchase your services because they don't want to have to do it themselves. And that's why they hire virtual assistant agencies over sometimes trying to go find their own VA, because it's a lot to have to go through different people's resumes, applications, interview, like see if they're good at what they do, because you don't know. You have to go through a screening process. And so that's why they would prefer to sometimes just go through an agency. And so your job is to be the one that does that. And by doing that, you're taking all this time off their plate to have to figure it out. You need to look at the VA agency model as a staffing model. Okay, so it's like a staffing agency, a VA staffing agency. You're not going to be doing the work, the VA is doing the work. Now the difference is that instead of like a traditional like staffing agency, like, I'm based in the US, and here in North America, like we have staffing agencies for people who want to go find like a temporary job or in any type of industry. Some people go and use staffing agencies to find contracts, right? So in essence, it's kind of like that model, but the difference is that with a virtual assistant agency, the virtual assistants are freelancers and they're contractors. They're not employees of your business, and they're not employees of the client's business. A lot of virtual assistants from around the world, they may have other clients. They may be offering like social media management. They may be doing customer service. And so a lot of them work from home. So what you're going to be doing is just matching clients with them. And so your role as a virtual assistant agency owner is that you're going to manage the entire process. You're going to take over the client onboarding. So you will be helping to onboard the VA into the client's business, making sure that you have them trained, they have the tools that they need. Now, the client has to actually direct the work of the VA. They're going to be telling the VA what they need every single week, and that could change from week to week. But your job is to be a leader and CEO of your agency business. I notice that people who want to become a virtual assistant, they are following a lot of influencers on YouTube and other places that are telling them, hey, you're the one that has to do all the skills, and you have to know how to do XYZ, and you don't need to know how to do that, because with an agency, you're going to make money from the profit margins. And the profit margins are how much the client pays you and how much you pay the virtual assistant who's a contractor or a freelancer. The difference is the profit margin. That's what you use to pay yourself or to invest it. Maybe you reinvest that back into growing your business. With this type of model, you have a lot of free time. You don't have to be working 40 hours a week. You don't have to be juggling multiple clients because you're not doing the work. Done for you services is a lot of work, regardless of what it is that you're doing. If you're doing website design, social media, answering customer service emails, this is time intensive. That's why a lot of virtual assistants who are like more solo VAs and they don't have an agency, they don't make a lot of money. Because in order for you to make like, $10,000 a month, and look, I'm just gonna be honest with you, if you live in the United States, that's where I live, okay? I'm talking to those of you who live in North America, or maybe you live in an expensive city from some other country somewhere else. I mean, there are countries that just are more money. You need to be making at least 10K just to like really live your life. Like that's how much you have to pay yourself. So if you're like a solo virtual assistant, you need to have 4, 5, maybe 10 clients. It's stressful. It's not sustainable. You'll never get free time. You'll be working yourself to the ground, and you'll be unhappy, and you'll be capped at how much you can make, because most VAs can't really take on that many clients. It's just not possible, right? So that's why I tell people that instead of trying to be a virtual assistant, become the CEO of a virtual assistant agency. Create your own virtual assistant agency service where you're going to be helping small businesses and match them with qualified VAs. Now, you have to change your mindset and think like a leader and think long term, right? With this type of business model, you can have it run without you. You can train someone to manage the VAs. You can hire a project manager to manage everything. So you're building an asset that can run without you. And the way that you do this is through systems. You want to create a system for finding virtual assistants, interviewing and screening them, onboarding new virtual assistants, onboarding your team members. You also want to have a system to manage client work every single month. And this is like a project management system. You also want to have a sales system, which is a repeatable process to get new leads and new clients every single month that could run with or without you, so you don't have to be chasing after clients. When you create these systems, it allows you to build this asset. Now, if you ever wanted to sell this business, you can sell it because it has systems, it can run without you. It's not just based on your energy and your capacity. The other beautiful thing is you can niche down and you can specialize. So some virtual assistant agencies focus on social media management. Some of them focus on providing executive assistant services. Some agencies focus on a specific industry like real estate, e-commerce, coaches, online education. There's different types of niches you can really just focus on, and that allows you to set yourself apart from the competition. With this model, you can hire virtual assistants from around the world. It's really up to you. If you have clients in North America and they want someone in their own time zone, you can hire people within this region, or you can hire people in Central and South America. I mean, there's just so much you could do because everything's virtual, right? Some virtual assistants can actually get the work done during your client's night hours when your client's asleep. They wake up the next morning and bam, they have a whole website built. Or maybe they have a bunch of graphics or their social media has like a bunch of posts there, right? So that's the beautiful thing about the technology that we have today is that people can do work. It could be asynchronous or it could be in real time. All right, so if you want to learn how to grow this type of business, I have a bunch of other videos I'll put right below this one. I also have a free training and a guide to help you grow a virtual assistant agency. So make sure you check that out. And also make sure you subscribe to this channel and I'll see you in the next video.